Hello everybody, welcome to the Football Daily Weekly. Pleasure to have you with us. I am back from holidays. I've been in Cuba, gentlemen. It's a fabulous country. Very interesting history. You do well to research it. Laurence is with me.
Havana.
And Patrick is as well.
Hola.
Don't be funny, mate. It's not a comedy show. We're here for serious football analysis.
We're here
Nothing else.
We're here for Q&As. Yeah, it's a Q&A today. You've answered some questions before, gentlemen.
Yeah.
And you're going to answer...
Look me in the eye and tell me you've not answered questions. Huh?
We've got a deluge of tweets in, haven't we?
We have. We've had a few. We've sieved through a lot of them. We can't answer all of them, obviously, because you've been very generous with your quantity of questions.
But the cream always rises to the top, doesn't it?
Indeed it does, because this is the Football Daily Weekly.
Or does it?
Well, we're going to find out. Let's get on with proceedings. Arthur Immature, quite like that. He is asking us, which players do Arsenal need to sign to be contenders for the title? Patrick.
Well, they've already got a huge one in Petr Cech.
Yes.
He's already in between the sticks for Arsenal. And for any Chelsea fan, is aware that not only he's physically capable and mentally capable, and in terms of winning the title for Arsenal. I mean, every big game final, Petr Cech was in the sticks. Chelsea delivered. Munich 2012, you know, he saved a penalty that Didier Drogba gave away. It could have been a very, very different story.
Could have been.
And I think was almost single-handedly got them the trophy, especially in the extra time. And then the penalties, of course, he's saving the one from Bastion.
Single-handedly?
Double-handedly.
Well, okay, yeah. I didn't mean the pun.
Yeah, I got out of that one. But I think Petr Cech is huge for them. The other massive hole in the Arsenal team would be the Vieira-shaped kind of cavity in the midfield, which is a box-to-box presence who can hard tackling, chip in with goals, dominate midfield, especially when Arsenal are away and go maybe in the past, not necessarily last season, they did some big away performances, but before that, that post-Vieira era was one that they could capitulate in the big games and things like that. But I think Vidal, has that been sort of dismissed now?
Laurence Vidal, would he plug that hole? Do they need to plug that hole?
I think Vidal would be
because Coquelin is playing a role there. They do pack that midfield. They do pack the midfield with all sorts. Are they looking for a particular player like that? Do you think, or maybe a striker perhaps?
I would have liked to see them compete for Schneiderlin. Schneiderlin? That would have been interesting, just because technically we know he's gifted enough to do it.
What about a player like Benzema though in another position?
I don't think he can play central defensive midfield, but I do think up front I would say.
Hence I said other position.
Yeah, no, I know.
Higuain, I have to say.
Really?
Even though he's followed. Call me. Yeah.
No, Higuain would be
insane. But I think Higuain is. I think it's probably the longest sort of transfer interest. About 3 or 4 years now they've been. Yeah. He may have missed a sitter in the World Cup final. He may even have missed a sitter in the Copa America.
He may be in Real Madrid.
He may have missed a penalty in the Copa America final as well. But if you look at the statistics for him, all is very, very robust. I think he's got 18 goals for Napoli in Serie A, which is no mean feat in that particular league.
That was in 3,000 games though. So
no, it wasn't. I think it was in 37
No,
games.
you're right.
Like
well, the top scorer last season was Luca Toni and the other Argentinian chap whose name escapes me for the moment. But they only got 20 or 22 goals.
Well, that's it. The top scorer's only got 22 goals, so 17, 18. Yeah, I think they were joint on 22. Him and Icardi.
LA Monster.
La Monster.
He is asking the question, or she. Monsters can be female as well.
Leave us.
Most underrated signing of the transfer window is.
Well, I can't say Petr Cech because everyone rates him. Okay. So I think maybe Falcao. I think if they got Falcao on loan, everyone just went. Because he scored 4 goals for Manchester United, I think 24 appearances, something like that.
Something like
that. And I just think Falcao is such a sort of a bit of a mystery. So he needs to sort of roll back the clock to about 2013.
Linking up with Diego Costa again?
Yeah, that's the other thing. He scored, I think, like 52 goals in 68 games for.
He was a phenomenal player.
But it's
going back to, well, it'll go in.
No,
like the thing is though,
it'll count.
I was just saying that Chelsea have the least amount to do in the transfer market, and one thing they did need to do was bring in an extra striker that didn't mind being rotated, sort of thing. So that wasn't Charlie Austin, that wasn't someone who wanted to play a whole season, basically. And so Falcao seemed like a perfect fit.
Can I say Shaqiri?
You can.
That is incredible, isn't it?
Has he gone?
By the time this comes out,
for Stoke.
Yeah,
that's incredible. That's not underrated though. Is it? Everyone just went what?
Under the radar.
Okay, under the radar. What I would say
but
is,
has it actually happened?
So what was the question exactly?
Most underrated.
Most underrated. So what I'd say is the reason it goes underrated is because people underrate how well Stoke have done to get him, if that makes sense. And
that's definitely gone through, has it? It might not
I mean,
have been
according to my
sealed.
sources.
Might not have been signed, sealed and delivered yet, though.
No, but if that happens, then I'll say that.
Okay.
And I think that makes them a very aggressive side at the front. I mean, Bojan graceful, Shaqiri with a slightly... I mean, we all know what his qualities are and what he was trying to bring to Bayern Munich, the fact that he wanted
Bayern Munich.
Reporting. It's me. Bayern Munich from the Bundesliga.
Reporting from the Nou Camp.
Yeah. Now across the Laurence Liga.
Yeah, it's Eric Frankfurt here.
Up front, they're going to have a great combination. I think the movement that we're going to see between those guys is great. I mean, we know where Bojan sits almost between the lines, and he dropped a little bit deeper and then was pushed a little bit further up, and they found the right position for him in the end. I like where they're going with Stoke because those are two quality players who have maybe not been rejected but just haven't fitted elsewhere. It's almost a Moneyball-esque type of
they can both feed Peter Crouch. Come up from the lower leagues, be an unfashionable club and make yourself a solid Premier League club is a wonderful achievement. And to kick on from that is very, very difficult, and we've seen other clubs try and do it, and they've gone away from the style and the ethos, whatever you want to say, that's made them solid. They've tried that, and actually they've fallen away and got themselves maybe relegated or dropped down. Tom is asking the question. Tom's handle is Boob Toucher 95.
Yeah. Do you make these up?
No. It's all legit. If I did that, I would keep it very under the radar.
Yeah.
That's my. If.
But if he did put in another eye, I'm sure Bobs across the land were rather relieved.
Yeah. But
to the expense of women, clearly.
Let's put this way, some people like to be touched.
I'm going to ask the question.
Is what I tell myself.
This show's out of control now.
Yeah.
Who's in charge?
You're the one accepting questions from Boob Toucher.
I don't read them.
Just print them off. Is Fabian Delph good enough for Manchester City Football Club?
That's what he should ask himself, really.
Who, Tom?
Yes.
Why are you asking us?
Yeah, why are you asking us? I told you, it's your questions, our answers.
Yeah.
The point should be there. Fabian Delph needs to ask what's good enough from Man City for him.
What?
So will he get enough pitch time? will he get enough time on the pitch? Will he develop as a player in the same way that he might at somewhere like Villa? Will he get to lead in the same way?
Are you worried that he could become a bit like an Adam Johnson or on the pitch or
Sinclair?
Scott Sinclair?
Yeah, I think at the moment, it's
you know, the Everton lad. Who came from Everton?
And also the Swansea guy.
Sinclair.
And I think
is that your concern then?
That's my concern. Is that actually he's much better off at Aston Villa, and it's another one of those things where they're sounding out a young, good English player.
He is a good player.
Yeah,
it's been fantastic. Like end of last season.
But you think is he already at the right place? And you wonder, you know, I mean, they've already had one exodus towards City where Barry went there, Milner went there. There's one point Young could have gone there, and so you think, is it the right move? And is it the right move at this point in his career?
If the season started now. Yes, I think he is good enough to go straight into Man City's side, simply because they look as though their Pogba bid's collapsed. £71 million.
He's a perfect replacement.
Well, this is what I was saying. I think in an injury-ravaged season, Pogba scored 8 goals, 3 assists. Delph scored 0 goals, 3 assists in more games. So you're not going to get
the players are very different.
Juventus
are top of the Serie A. They reached the Champions League final, whereas Delph was playing for a team that was struggling to score goals.
That's right. Yeah, but I mean, there's those sort of statistics. I mean, they're slightly kind of they do tell a story in the sort of sense that I think that he's not their number one target. Is the point that I'm going for.
Yeah.
So
But is he good enough?
I think he's good enough now. I think, and he's certainly good enough for the Man City bench. And I think, it's not. He'll play some games. He might even get some Champions League football. But it does. I think it reeks of Sinclair and Rodwell and
Johnson.
Name the others.
This is what I reckon City's actual negotiation process is like with the agent. He'll get some games, I'd imagine.
But you take that.
But
you
we're
take
chucking
a
money at him. Yeah.
A pay rise in a group game.
Who's his
Champions
agent?
League.
80 Ward? Yeah, make a bid, make a bid. Yeah, make a bid.
I'm sorry, that is. I know it's a bit, but it's. I think he's not their first choice. They want to bring stars in.
He's not our first choice, if we're honest. Yeah.
Gentlemen, time is against us.
Can I just say one thing? There was a great tweet of Man City when they made a bid for Sterling of 35 million, and someone said, all the papers say it's their final bid, and someone went, imagine if they didn't go like that, and they just literally went, we do want you to know we're willing to go considerably higher. Isn't that just a great way of
Marvellous.
Yeah.
MGS is asking, thoughts on Raheem Sterling asking to be excluded from Liverpool's pre-season tour?
I don't think there are any thoughts being involved in that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there, Laurence.
Yeah.
Probably right.
What I do want to say here is I feel really sorry for Raheem Sterling because whatever illness it is he has, he's on the wrong ward.
Yeah.
And he needs to be treated for whatever illness it is. You know, whether it's something from Theme Hospital that he's thought up, exploding head, etc., etc., or you know, it's an actual illness. It could just be tonsillitis, and therefore he can't train.
Yeah.
It could just be really bad timing.
Yeah.
And you know, I've had holidays where I've not wanted to go away.
Imagine that being in the paper and getting a cold. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've had holidays where I've thought, you know what, I'm not sure I'm going to make it on this plane. And it's a long way, Malaysia, and it's a long way, Australia.
I would just say this is kind of the sort of classic sort of tabloid manna from heaven over summer period. The most protracted. But what's the story inside the story? And it's like kind of rolling news. Do you know what I mean? When they're stood outside a building.
It's not like rolling news. It is rolling news, and that's why this is happening.
Yeah, and it's like someone standing outside a building and it's like, Sterling situation heats up, and it will keep heating up until round about the start of the Premier League.
Yeah. Raheem's temperature has gone up, and so is the temperature of the story.
Yeah, there we are.
Exactly.
Pressure builds.
I think you know. I think you mentioned on one of the shows a few years ago. The writing's on the wall. I don't think he'll be playing for Liverpool next season. Just how many kind of daily back pages can he fill though? And that's the challenge, not for Raheem
the challenge that
for
we're
the sports editors.
Part of me thinks, have Liverpool calculated how much is 35 grand a week for the next 2 years? Him.
Yeah.
Have Liverpool thought, you know, we're not going to cap. Weirdly, if they just thought, we'll cut off our nose to spite our face, shove your 50 million, we're keeping him in the reserves. If you want to treat a club like that, which I think he had, AD Ward's been very disrespectful. I think he's a tip in it. I'm going to put it this way, he's a terrible agent. He's not looking after his interest. From the outside, it looks terrible. I can't imagine what it's like to be associated with that kind of person.
But he has a very strange relationship with him, doesn't he? For example, like...
What kind of thing?
Well, speaking strictly financially.
Okay. Well, I mean, even then, what kind of thing? Yeah.
Well, no, isn't he set to earn like £4 million saving agents fees or something like that if a deal from Man City comes through?
Sure.
Is that? I mean, I just think
Liverpool do also pass 20% onto QPR. We need to say that. So the fact they're holding out for 50 means they're actually holding out for 40.
So really, QPR
are
the winners here.
So
QPR are huge winners.
They have 20 million to play with when they're in the conference.
That'll go into a week's wages.
No, exactly, for Harry Redknapp.
Well, thank you very much for your questions, everybody. It's always a pleasure having the chaps answered them. Patrick, Laurence,
thank you.
Pleasure.
Well done.
Really
well done again. It was great doing battle with you.
See you around.
We'll be back next week. It's been a pleasure. Do get your comments in below and tell us what you thought of all that rabble. We'll see you next time.